Hey guys, happy Tuesday. I hope that you are working on or brainstorming your sun honoring project. I find myself getting a little frustrated. My seedlings aren't thriving like I would like them to. I haven't gotten my second set of leaves on my tomatoes, so I'm feeling a bit anxious because you always want the things that you plant to grow and grow well. I mean, in life, in gardening, it's kind of a thing. So, but I was driving on the way to the library to drop off the books today, and I saw, I like looking obviously for signs, and I saw a little bumper sticker that said, "I heart my wife." And it was on the back of a work van. And at first I was like, oh, that's so cute. And this little voice in the back of my head was like, oh man, he's whipped. And I was like, wow, how programmed are we as a society that might have actually been our first response? Not to believe that this hard blue collar worker actually has a healthy relationship and genuinely loves his wife and wants to brag on her a little bit, or that he's whipped and therefore he couldn't have put that on there himself because maybe he did it to get something from his wife. And I'm like, wow, that kind of thinking just bothers me. But it's interesting that it still comes up for me. I am not perfect. I am constantly trying to learn and do better and thrive better. And this is just one of those little reminders that something so simple as a bumper sticker could remind me that, hey, I still need work. But also that, why aren't we just accepting as a culture of love? This guy is showing off his love for his spouse, and we're like, oh, that can't be true. Like, we're dismissing it as a power play or whatever. And it's like, no, dude, that's awesome. That's great. I hope one day to have a love that I too can brag about. That's the goal. That's the goal. It just kind of like was a punch to the face. Like, hey, there's still that little voice of society telling you what you're supposed to think, living in the back of your mind. And it's interesting because with Mercury, I really wanted to do a video about gossip. Because gossip isn't always what we think it is. Gossip isn't always, oh my gosh, did you hear what so-and-so did last night? Gossip can be something as simple as, oh yeah, I had to do extra barn work because so-and-so's father's in the hospital. And even though it's her shift, I told her I'd take it because, he's in the hospital and I'm doing a good thing. That too is gossiping. There are things that certain people probably wouldn't tell us unless they needed to. Especially when we're talking about family members with health and medical issues. That's why I always try and be very cautious, especially when people confide in me about their medical issues and their struggles. I have too many friends that have suffered miscarriages and are dealing with fertility issues. And that has become surprisingly normal. Especially as people with questions for a medium regarding that sort of issue. And it's strange because that's one of those things where I'm like, dude, I could tell you all about suicide, but miscarriages are a lot more complicated than that. It's tough, but, we need to be very, very cautious when we're talking about people. I try very hard to talk about people's celebrations, to brag on them. Kim has really awesome artwork in the Hartford Artists Gallery where I volunteer. So I bragged on her with that. I was like, you're famous. I saw your stuff and I knew it was yours. Like, awesome. Yay. All the folks that donated hats and scarves for our fiber fundraising drive, I brag on them. Yay. But unless it's something that I can fix, I have control over, or I can ask for help from someone else to help with the situation. Like someone was looking for a job and I was like, hey, you should really talk to so-and-so. They're in that field, and I think that they probably give you some good information and maybe even let you know about some openings. Like that's like the networking, like the connecting of people. But to just talk about people, we have got to get out of that habit. Got to. And I think the first step to that is to stop watching crappy reality that's not reality. It's all scripted, by the way. Crappy reality programming. Like, don't watch the Kardashians. Don't watch the Housewives of whatever. Because that really only encourages the creation of drama. We don't think about it like that. A lot of us see TV shows like that as an escape. But it's not. It's really continuing to program us that this kind of behavior is okay. And not only okay, that it's awarded. That these people have their own TV shows and are making money off of their drama. And that's not okay. That it's not okay. Nothing about that is okay. And I don't think I've ever been attracted to those kind of TV shows. I like to watch people having adventures and experiencing different things that I would like to experience, or I'm curious about other people having that experience. So I don't really watch shows like that. I don't watch talk shows. I don't watch Jerry Springer. I used to love Jerry Springer. But it's terrible for you. It's like junk food for your mind, and it's not good for you. You know, those aren't normal, healthy relationships. What we need we need really good, healthy, supportive, non-toxic people to surround ourselves with, and that includes reading materials, TV materials, what we listen to. That's what we need. We need more good stuff going into our head. So if you find someone talking about someone else to you, the first thing I want you to think about is, if they're saying this about another person, what on earth are they telling other people about me? Because that's the reality. If that person is willing to talk to you about so-and-so, they're telling so-and-so about you. You best believe it. Whether that person is simply seeking unhealthy attention, which is what a lot of it is, or just they feel the need to spread the gospel crazy. Like, don't accept that. Like, I literally have walked away from conversations. I will try to switch up the topic to something other than people. Like, hey, have you seen any good movies? Hey, I'm really looking forward to Pie Day. The kids and I are deciding what flavors of pie to make. I will try to switch the conversation, and with like 9 times out of 10, that person will go right back to what they were saying. In which case, I literally am like, I'm sorry, I gotta go. Something's come up. I really don't want to be in this conversation. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye. And after a few times, people kind of pick up, and if they don't, I literally will say, I don't talk about other people behind their back. Like, I've literally said that a few times, and I will have someone look at me like, what do you mean? And I will repeat myself, I don't talk about other people behind their back unless we're working on a solution to help that person together. It is talking about someone behind their back. And it doesn't even matter if you would say it to their face. It doesn't. You are talking about them behind their back. So if you're one of those people that talks about people, think about why you're talking about people. What is it that's so important about what's going on with that person that you need to share it with someone else? Especially if you don't have a relationship with that person. Are you trying to problem solve, or are you simply sharing your day? There might have been something absolutely unbelievable that happened, and you really are just trying to share your day, and you're not talking about someone. But chances are, if you're talking about someone, it's to garner attention with something, and that's not good. Ask yourself, isn't there a better way to get attention? And because there's a lot. So if you talk about people, find a way to stop, figure out why you're doing it, and then get that other love somewhere else. If you're in a conversation and you don't want to be in a conversation, change the subject, tell people, I don't talk about other people behind their backs, and or walk away. There you go. Hang up. I gotta go. Bye. Click. But it does take a little bit. We've got to stop this cycle. We've got to. And as spiritual people, we have to realize this, and we've got to start doing more simple things. And a lot of it has to do with not complaining. The power of not complaining is being grateful. It's a quiet gratitude project, but you have to stop yourself from complaining first. And complaining about other people is a big part of what people complain about. Gosh darn it, this went long again. All right, well, I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Hopefully this resounds with someone. Perhaps there's someone you want to share this message with. Please feel free to. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.